The year is 1855 and the gold rush is coming to an end. California has a major rise in population. The American people are in need for a fast way to communicate to friends and family on the other side of the country. Mail services are taking 3 weeks to deliver mail from New York to California. Tensions are also rising due to conflicts between slavery among the states. On April 3, 1860, 3 men by the names of Alexander Majors, William Hepburn Russell, and William B. Waddell opened the Pony Express. At the time, the Pony Express was the most efficient system for transporting messages in the United States. Opening just over a year before the Civil War, the Pony Express was able to maintain a steady business, although it was no easy task being a Pony Express rider. The rides were often so intense that they were looking for orphans without any family members due to the high risk of death along the way. Above all that, only one bag of mail was ever lost. Along the striking 75 to 100-mile journey, they were berated by Indians who were still not happy with the colonists taking their land. The riders also had to deal with extreme conditions as they would ride through blizzards and storms, though they would switch horses every 10 to 15 miles. They did this for a pay of about $100 a month, which is equivalent to about $3,000 in today's money. There were a few famous riders in the mail service's brief history. One such rider was Robert Pony Bob Haslam. Pony Bob is credited with having the longest round-trip ride for the Pony Express. One seemingly normal day, he received his mailbag and headed east. When he rode into Carson River, which was a 60-mile ride, he found that all the villagers had taken the horses to defend against attacking Indians. Without stopping, he went down the Carson River into Buckland Station, which was about 15 miles away. When he reached the station, his relief rider was so frightened by the Indians that he refused to take the mail. Pony Bob then mounted his horse again and rode another 35 miles to a town named Carson Sink, where he received a fresh horse. He then rode another 220 miles and was without water for 30 of those miles, and then switched with the next relief rider. After a good rest, he made his way back home, but when he got to the next station, he found that the station worker had been killed by Indians who also rode off the horses. He continued his journey and ran into a ring of Indians along the way, where he escaped and finally made it home for a round trip of 380 miles. Although the riders faced many struggles, the Indians were just the beginning. On April 12, 1861, the Civil War began. The battle between the North and the South produced the bloodiest battles that America has ever known. The need for sending messages was at an all-time high. The problem was that instead of gaining more business, the Pony Express received less. This was the start of the decline of the Pony Express. As time went on, the Pony Express was becoming irrelevant due to new, faster means of transporting information. On October 26, the finished product of the transcontinental telegraph was what finally put the Pony Express out of business. Though less efficient, the Pony Express will forever leave an imprint in the history of communication. Today we have very few artifacts of what remain of the Pony Express. There are about 50 stations still around today that are used as tourist destinations. Another artifact is a flyer from the Pony Express, quote, 10 days to San Francisco, end quote. Operation hours were up to, quote, 4 p.m. every Tuesday, end quote, and, quote, 2:30 p.m. every Saturday, end quote. There were also maps showing the distance that riders had to travel as well as advertisements for hiring. Stories such as Pony Bob show us how the Pony Express broke barriers in communication throughout the United States. The Pony Express showed us that fast communication among the states was possible. Today we have many devices that allow for almost instant access to messages. We Americans have come a long way from riders on horseback delivering mail to sending texts over smartphones.